So you are thinking about moving to Utah, but you keep hearing the same thing over and over again. If you're not Mormon, you are going to hate it. That sounds extreme, and honestly, it is, but it is also not completely wrong either. Hi, I'm Kelsey Earle with Home Search by Kelsey June. Whether you live here or you're thinking about moving here, I'd love to help you, and I have time for you. Give me a call or email me directly at kelsey.earle@kw.com. I was born and raised here. I'd love to help you achieve your real estate goals. The truth is, living in Utah as a non-Mormon is not so terrible, but it is different. And if you do not understand how it is different before you move here, it can catch you off guard in ways you don't expect. I want to give you a real balanced perspective so you can actually decide if Utah is a good fit for you. This is not going to be one of those videos that tries to scare you away, and it is not going to pretend everything is exactly the same as everywhere else either. The reality sits somewhere in the middle, and once you understand that you can make a much better decision about where to live and how to build your life here, Utah is still heavily influenced by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that shows up in everyday life more than most people expect. About half of the population identifies as LDS, so you will notice it in neighborhoods, schools, social circles, and even how people spend their weekends. At the same time, that does not mean everyone is Mormon, and it does not mean you will find people like you. There is also a large and growing group of people who are not affiliated at all, especially in certain areas. What most people notice right away is that Utah feels kind before it feels close. People are friendly, polite, helpful, but building deeper relationships here can take more time. That is usually not because people are unwelcoming. It is because many social circles are already established through church, family, and long-term community. If you move here expecting instant friendships, that is where people tend to feel frustrated. There are a few lifestyle differences that stand out pretty quickly once you are living here. One of the first things people notice is the alcohol system. You can still go out and have a great time, but the rules are more controlled than in many other states. Another difference is how family-oriented certain areas are. Some neighborhoods, especially newer suburbs, are built around families and that community life. If that matches your stage of life, it can feel like a great fit. If it does not, it can feel quieter than you expected. The other big factor is the outdoors. Utah outdoor recreation is not just something people do occasionally. It is a major part of daily life here. People plan their schedules around biking, hiking, skiing, and just being outside. It becomes part of your routine whether you expect it to or not. Where you choose to live in Utah will have a huge impact on your experience. Salt Lake City is usually the easiest place for non-Mormons to adjust. It is more diverse, more urban, and has more people who have recently moved to town. There are more social options, more nightlife, and more opportunities to meet new people. Park City has a very different feel from the rest of the state. It attracts people from all over the world. It has a strong event scene and feels less centered around traditional Utah culture. The trade-off is that it is significantly more expensive. Provo and Orem are more affordable and have a younger population, but they are also more heavily influenced by church culture. That does not make them bad places to live, but it is something you need to be comfortable with. Newer suburbs like Herriman, Saratoga Springs are very family focused. They work well for people who want that lifestyle, but they can feel quiet if you're looking for something more social. The biggest mistake people make when they move to Utah is that they wait. They wait to be invited, they wait to meet people naturally, they wait to feel like they belong. That approach usually does not work here in Utah. The people who have a great experience in Utah take a more active approach. They join things, they sign up for sports leagues, go to events, volunteer, and get involved in activities where they see the same people regularly. That repetition is what turns acquaintances into real relationships. If you're willing to do that, Utah becomes much easier to settle into. A lot of people move to Utah expecting it to be very affordable, but that is not always the case anymore. The overall cost of living is close to the national average, but housing is where things can get expensive. Prices vary depending on the area, but in many parts of Utah, especially near Salt Lake City and Park City, home values have gone up significantly. It is very important to look at real numbers before you move so you know exactly what to expect. So, can you live in Utah if you are not a Mormon? Yes, you absolutely can, and a lot of people do. But your experience depends on where you live and how you build your life once you get here. If you choose the right area and make an effort to get involved, Utah can be an incredible place to live. If you do not, it can feel isolating at first. If you're thinking about relocating to Utah and want help figuring out which area actually fits your lifestyle, feel free to reach out. I can help you narrow it down so you make the right move the first time, instead of guessing and hoping it works out for you. Again, I'm Kelsey Earl with Home Search by Kelsey June. Whether you live here or you're thinking about moving here, I'd love to help you and I have time for you. Give me a call or email me directly at kelsey.earl@kw.com. I was born and raised here and I'd love to help you achieve your real estate goals.